Alright, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to talk about mining Webchain, which is an interesting brand new coin that just got put on CoinMarketCap less than 30 days ago. It's interesting and odd, and a lot of people have been telling me about this coin. It's still very much under the radar, and it is sort of a sleeping giant, in my opinion. So as you can see on the front page here, it's an ERC20 and ERC223 smart contract dapp coin. So it's on the Ethereum network, yet it's mineable, and it's mineable with the cryptonight algorithm. So it is a CPU mineable coin, and it doesn't work so well on GPUs. So a quick overview of mining lately. The profits have been way down, and I find it pretty inefficient and not a very smart thing to do, to go out and buy a bunch of GPUs these days and mine with them, because your ROI is going to be super, super long, and it's going to take a lot of time to get your money back. And most coins just aren't that profitable these days. And a lot of the coins that we used to mine now have ASICs attached to them. Even Ethereum and Equihash are pretty much gone. So we're looking for new coins to mine, and people are mining like Raven and various other coins that pop up. But the problem with those is that they're not very long-term coins. They don't really have any smart contract capability, or at least most of them. So people are just mining them until the profit is gone, and then they just sort of dump them, and then somebody else sells it and somebody else sells it. And then what was the point of it in the long run? So I'm here to talk about Webchain, and it's an interesting coin, as they say. It's a JavaScript mineable coin, so it can be placed in your website and things like that, so that when people come, you know, they don't watch ads, but rather they mine for you, which that sort of thing has been around for a little while with Monero. But there was no ICO, so these were not pre-mined or pre-made or anything like that. Very interesting coin indeed. So I want to tell you guys how to mine it, and all of these will be in the description. All of the links will be in the description below. So the first one is just their main website, and what you do is you go to how to mine. So we're going to click on that. And first of all, you need their GUI wallet. And what that looks like is really just this. It's very, very simple. So you can see I mined 15.743 Webchain in about maybe an hour and a half. So it mines really, really fast. And I'll go over the price and stuff later. As you can see, it's really only 7 cents that I mined in about an hour and a half. So this is sort of a supplementary CPU mineable coin. And while you can mine it on GPUs, it's not particularly efficient. And you really wouldn't want to do that unless you specifically want to get a bunch of Webchain. And another thing I want to remind you guys is that if you go into CoinMarketCap and type in web, there is Webcoin and then there is Webchain. So we're talking about Webchain. As you can see, this was only on CoinMarketCap since like September 29th, so less than a month as of making this video. So first of all, you need to get their wallet and make that. And then you'll get your public key here, which we're going to need in just a moment. And then we're going to scroll down, and we're going to go to GitHub in the number 3 here, the mining. So just open that up and head on over. So here's something I really want to point out to you guys. I downloaded 2.5.3. But the new version will work just the same. But let me show you what can happen when you go to download this, because this might confuse you. So if you have like Linux, you know, Windows 64, get the one that you need. In my case, just Windows 64-bit. So when you actually go to download it, you'll see that it'll say save the file, and you click OK, and then nothing happens. So I guess Firefox came up with this new deal, and of course antiviruses and things like that always seem to flag mining programs. So if you click on here where you were downloading, and as you can see I did this a few times in preparation for the video, you actually have to click on this and then hit open. So if you're using Firefox, you actually have to like physically open it to download the file, because it thinks that it's a virus. It says this file contains virus or malware, but it's not. So the first time that I did this, I clicked on the newest version here and nothing happened. So I thought, okay, maybe it's just a broken link. So then I got 2.5.3, but either way it will work. So I'm going to be showing you guys 2.5.3, but it's going to be the same thing. So when you get that, you're going to get of course, you're going to get a RAR file, you're going to get a zipped file, and then just make a folder called Webchain or something like that, whatever you want, and extract it. And another couple things to note. So once you extract it, you're going to get these 3 files here. And you want to go to config. And the first thing you want to do is go right here. It says donate level, minimum 1%. This is going to be set to 5 right away. And so you're going to be donating 5% right off the bat. So if you're fine with that, just leave that there. But I'm assuming most of you are probably not. And you might think to yourself, well, I'm going to set it at 0 so that I donate nothing at all. But it says the minimum is 1%, and I tried putting it at 0, and if you put it at 0, you'll notice that when you start mining, your donation level is 5%. So put it at 1, because that's the minimum amount. 0 doesn't work. You can go ahead and try it for yourself. It just doesn't work, at least with this version that I downloaded. So if it says 5% on there for you when you put 0, go back, stop mining, and switch this back to 1. And then you're going to scroll down a little bit, and you're going to take where it says user here, and there's going to be a different address here. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your web wallet address and copy this right into this. So that's where you're going to be mining. Otherwise, this is totally set up for you. And you might be saying, where do I mine to? What pool? And I'm glad you asked that, because that's the next step. Who would have thought? So again, this link will be in the description below as well. So when you're ready to start mining, head on over. So when you want to start mining, you just hit start, and it'll just fire right up. And it might take a second here because I am recording, but as soon as it feels like it, whenever it feels like it for me, whenever. Maybe if we just click on Webchain. No, it just takes a little while. So let's let that run for a second, and I'll show you my hash rate on a 5820K, which is just a 6-core 5th generation i7. So really, since this is cryptonight, it matters how much cache you have in your CPU, not necessarily the frequency of your CPU. So CPUs with more cache are going to do much better at mining this than others. So it's starting to mine here, and you can see it says commands H for hash rate, pause, and resume. So if you just hit H, that's what I'm mining at. But really, it actually gets up to like 300 or 400 hash rather than just 150. But I am recording, so that takes a lot of my CPU power. So you can see it just runs right off the bat, and it's pretty easy. So you can either click on Start or the Webchain miner, and either one's going to work for you. So when you're on the Webchain pool here, you just type in your, just copy and paste your public key, and then when you hit lookup, it will show you your hash rate. So this is this one here, and it'll show you your hash rate. So I stopped hashing for this video, so I had like two little CPUs going on this, and as you can see, my pending balance is 7.44, and the total paid was 15.74, like I showed you in that. So this is really about a couple hours or so of mining, and I ended up getting, well, I haven't got this yet, but about 21, 22 or so Webchain. Another thing I'd like to show you, if you just go to homepage, it'll tell you like when you get paid out. So payouts run every few hours, and your minimum payout threshold is 10 web, which again doesn't take very long at all. The next thing I wanted to show you, and this will be in the description below as well, is the CoinImp website. And so I'm not doing this. I don't have a website to install this, but you can browser mine if you want to. And this does have sort of a referral link to it, so there's not going to be one in the description, so because I'm not really a big fan of referral links. However, they take the 1% fee, but they just give you the currency, the 1%. They don't really, you don't really take it from the other person that's mining. So that is a plus, but I'm still not a big fan of referral links overall, except to exchanges. That's okay. So basically, you can start mining with your browser with this, and then you can invite other people as well. So if you just click on start mining, you can go through this. I'm not really going to show this. This is not really particularly interesting to me. You can also embed this into your website so that when people visit your website, you gain a little bit of Webchain from them. And I know that's sort of a controversial thing because a lot of people don't like Monero JavaScripts and stuff like that, but it's basically a JavaScript miner. So this coin is a CPU mined dapp coin on the Ethereum network, but mined with cryptonight. So it's really, really strange in my opinion, but I think it's a sleeping giant because, you know, a lot of coins out there that come out that people are like, oh, I'm going to start mining this coin because it's very profitable, it's very new, but it doesn't do anything at all. It's just a currency, and most people will never actually use it for a currency. So this could actually be used for smart apps and things like that. So it does have a referral program. Again, like you get 1% of like earnings, like of people that are mining it. So if that's something interesting to you, guys can check that out on your own. But again, not a big fan of referral links. So moving on to the next one. This site is, oh, it was weird because it was almost down for a second there. I will put this link in the description below. And what this is, it doesn't really have anything to do with the actual developers of Webchain, but this is different mining software if you're interested. So I tried to download the NVIDIA GPU mining software, and whenever you do that, you can see that nothing happens, even like the Ubuntu ones, but the AMD ones do download. So these links right here for NVIDIA are broken, and you know, on this PC I have NVIDIA cards, so I can't really show you GPU mining. However, I've heard that it's very inefficient. It's similar to mining like Aeon coin, I think the AEON coin, if I'm not mistaken, not the AIO one. I know. So when you try to mine that coin on your GPU, it's really terrible and very inefficient. However, AMD should be better at NVIDIA than this, particularly Vega cards. And let me just go ahead and stop that before it times out. Particularly Vega cards will be better at mining this coin. However, I feel like this is more of a coin that you should just CPU mine. Like, let's say you have a few rigs, you could just slap this CPU miner on those rigs. So while you're mining with your GPUs, you can also be mining this coin as well, if you happen to have a reasonable CPU, which I know a lot of people just have really basic CPUs in their mining rigs to reduce cost. But if you have some good CPUs laying around or in several PCs, there's no reason to not really mine this coin, in my opinion. And if you're really, really on this coin and you want as much of it as possible, then I would recommend downloading this NVIDIA or AMD software. I'm sure these NVIDIA links will be fixed at some point in the future, so just maybe bookmark it or something and try it again at another time. And then that way you can mine many, many more of these coins at once. But just understand that GPU mining is not very efficient with this coin, and you're probably better off just mining something else with your GPUs. So the final thing, so that is it. As you can see, I have 15 web. All you do is just, you know, do the config. All you have to do with this config is just plop it into your public key in there. And I recommend changing the donation level. You know, donations are good, but 5% is a little steep. 1% is okay. And again, you'll be mining to this pool, which you just type in your public key, and you can check out and see what you're going to be paid. So I won't be paid this. I'll actually have to mine a little bit more in order to get paid that 10 minimum balance. But again, it takes like an hour, maybe an hour and a half to get at least 10 coins with a somewhat reasonable processor. And if you have a Ryzen or something like that, like a Threadripper, you'll just decimate this coin and you'll get tons of them. So now I want to talk about coin market cap. So again, as I said earlier, this has only been up for a month. And coins like that have a very low difficulty. You can see the volume is super low, $4,100. It's only on one exchange. Now you might think to yourself, oh, that's bad, but that's actually kind of a good thing, because the more exchanges this actually gets put on, the more the price is going to increase, because that's going to make it access to a lot more people as it you know, adds to exchanges. So only $4,100, total volume, and the market cap is only 204,000. But the thing is, you can mine these coins very, very, very quickly, and it's only at 0.004 cents, so less than 1 penny at the moment, about half a cent, a little less than that. And as you can see, at one point it did get to nearly a penny, nearly 1 cent. So if you could mine, I imagine you could mine a good thousand of these within, at least in a month. And if it went to 10 cents or a penny, that's like $10 on your CPU, which is not a lot. But if it ever goes up past that, this could actually be a sleeping giant. It can go up 10 or maybe even 100x in the future when a bull run comes along, or maybe somebody pumps it or something like that. And if you have this set on an exchange to sell, you might actually benefit quite greatly. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you guys have any questions or something doesn't work out for you, feel free to put it in the comments below, and maybe I can get back to you, or maybe you can help somebody else out in the comments. But I feel this video is fairly straightforward, and literally all you have to do is just change the public key and change the donation if you want. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and as usual, I will see you guys next time.